Everyone, I've decided the next TV series I'm going to be talking about is Survivor. I'm a fan of the series when I get a chance to watch the whole seasons. This one's a big milestone at season 50. And Jeff, the host of it, decided that he's going to shake things up this season. So, last year, fans got a vote online of all 741 contestants that were still around, like the ones that were still alive, stuff like that. They get a vote who they want to see on season 50. And then Jeff would tally up the votes, put the names in a jar, and last year he pulled names out a couple of weeks at a time, like 3 one week, 2 the next, and that was the people that got voted into season 50. So there is a total of 24 contestants and a 26-day challenge. You have Angelica from season 37. You got Aubrey. You have the guy nicknamed the Coach, Benjamin. He was on season 18, season 20, season 23. He's never won one. He's always the runner-up in that. He's known for playing the game dirty and stuff and strategically. Charlie from season 46. You have Christian, Claire. She's been on 5 seasons, and she likes to play an innocent game and then betray people's trust in that. I won't vote you in. Oh, guess what? I vote you in the tribal council. Betray them, stuff like that. You have Kobe. He's season 2 winner. Dee, season 45's winner. Emily, she was on season 45. Masulak, she was on season 47. Jenna, the very first ever one to win Survivor on season 1's in it. That's cool. Joe, for season 48. I liked him when I watched that one because there was a woman on that season called Eva, and she had autism in that, and she always ended up having panic attacks. And she won a challenge for her team, and she started having a panic attack because she got ready, super excited and stuff. And she told him about her autism, so he went up to her, hugged her, and helped her out, and he looked out for her during the whole season and stuff. So that's cool that he's back. But unfortunately, Eva's name was never drawn out of the jar. Jonathan for season 42. Carmela for season 48. Ozzy, he was on season 13, 16, 23, and 34. And he's been a runner-up on 3 of them, and he won 1. I don't know which one he won. And he's a big threat in the game, the saying online, stuff like that. Then you have Kyle, season 48's winner. Mike from season 37, he was a runner-up. He is the creator of the comedy show White Lotus. He's a movie producer, a filmmaker, author, and already the other castaways, before they got in the way, they would talk to certain ones, we're getting him out. This is for a big amount of money, which they don't know yet how much they're paying for. They're saying he's a filmmaker, he's an author, he's got tons of money. Let's vote him out when we get a chance. Q, season 46, came in 8th place. Rick, from season 38, which came in 4th place. And he's the guy that loves to find idols. He's obsessed with finding idols all throughout the island. Rizzo, from season 49, that just finished last year, is back again. Savannah, season 49's winner. Stephanie from season 10, 11, and 20. She's never won any of them. And Tiffany from season 46, which came in 8th place. So, they all got to the awning. Jeff welcomed everybody, and he announced that the season 50, let's make something big, right? Let's change it right up. So, the fans get to vote what's happening this season. That's a first. They get to vote who goes on what tribe. So instead of randomly picking a Carter, bandana. That's the tribe you go to. The fans online got to choose which player goes what tribe. Starting off, the fans got to vote what challenges and elimination challenges, stuff like that will be happening. Fans got to vote if there'll be idols to help you out. If there is, are they going to be awesome ones that's going to have like a negative pro effect, stuff like that. And 80% of fans worldwide voted for idols that have pros and cons to spice things up. And for the first time ever, the host, Jeff, is going to compete in a challenge. He announced that, but he didn't say why. He didn't say when. So the three tribes are as follows. Veto, which is purple, and that is Aubrey, Q, Kobe, Kyle, Angelica, Stephanie, Masuik, and Rizzo. Tribe Cecilia, which is orange, is Jenna, Savannah, Rick, Claire, Emily, Christian, Joe, and Tribe Kalo, which is teal, is Christy, Camilla, Joe, the coach, Mike, Jonathan, Charlie, and Tiffany. Then right off the get-go, Jeff started talking to the contestants, like, hey, to Jenna, how's it feel being the very first ever person that won it, being back after all these years? To Savannah, who just won it last year, and now she's back again right off the get-go. To Ozzy and the coaches' beef that they had when they were on the same season as Jed. They had a huge argument, beef, squash, stuff like that. Like, they said right off the get-go, no, we're going to squash that beef, man. Like, that's in the past. We're moving on. And he said, now, and before we get to the first challenge, fans also got to vote if you guys get food right off the get-go, or you have to earn it when in a challenge. And fans voted that right off the get-go, nobody gets any food supplies. You have to earn it later on. So that's a major blow. Right. And the first challenge is basically an obstacle course. They had to dig a path under this big giant log. Then they had to solve a puzzle to unhook some oars for the boat. Then they had to solve out a puzzle, which was like a chain puzzle, where they had to move like a bag full of sand through like a kind of like shaped like a coral spring to the end of the puzzle. Then they had to get to a boat, and there's a bunch of coils of rope, and they had to get all the rope untangled and off the boat. Take the boat, swim it to a platform, light up a torch, your team wins. So they did that, and Vito's team, the purple ones, win. And what they get is they get supplies to start a fire, basically. And then second place gets to start a fire as well. And third place gets nothing. Which is Tribe Cecile. They don't even get a flint. They don't get nothing. And then Jeff says everybody else gets to go back to camp. Start setting up the shelter. If you have a flint, get a fire going. And he announces that they must choose a member of each tribe to go with him to a mini awning to complete for the second challenge, which has huge rewards. So everybody talks, and they decide to send Ozzy, Coach, and Q. So they get to the mini awning, and Jeff has this basically like a big old wooden bamboo platform shaped like tic-tac-toe. And they have to get a key through the board, and the first player to get the key through and unlocks this box has a button that has like a machete, flint, wood, rope, stuff like you use for your shelter, for your tribe members, and for supplies and stuff. But here's the kicker. The two that don't get the key exiled on that mini awning for the whole night, which is huge because they can't go back to camp and strategize with other players off the get-go, right? Talk about, hey, let's form an alliance to like the final 8, final 5, or to the finale. And also, one of them have to decide to lose the vote at the first ever tribal council, which is like the elimination, and the other one gets an extra vote. So, doing the challenge, Ozzy struggled to get the key through the board, big old game board, and eventually he does after 45 minutes, and Coach steals the key. Because the rule said the first player to get the key to unlock the box. Didn't mean that the first player to get the key for the game board is the one that can open it. So Coach, he did it dirty to Ozzy, even though he just said at the beginning of the episode they're going to squash that beef. Ozzy was livid. Coach got the supplies, head back to his camp. And Ozzy and Q had to spend the night in the exile on it. They talked, they strategized, they got to know each other some. And Q ended up saying, you know what, Ozzy, you want to get back at Coach eventually down the road, take the extra vote, man. So, case like when it comes down to, like every previous season, after so many players eliminated, the 3 tribes come into one. Then it's every man for themselves, right? Instead of every group for themselves. So he said, keep that extra vote to like maybe when you and Coach are on the same tribe, that's extra vote against him. So they make that pact. So Q goes back with no votes. Ozzy goes back with extra vote. He decides not to tell nobody at his tribe about that. He keeps that hush hush. Other stuff happened. Bear with me here. A lot of stuff happened, folks. Rick, the guy that loves to find idols, right off the get-go, doesn't even help set up a shelter. He just goes looking for idols. And Emily joins him, and Christian follows him, and they never find none. Kyle from Vaatu wants a 5-person alliance right off the get-go. He's like, there's 8 of us, it was 5 of us work together. He gets 2 on board, but the rest of them are like, nope. And Aubrey tells Genevieve, who was on season 48, he's like, you play dirty. I seen that season, she did play dirty. Like, you betray people's trust. You said one thing, then you said somebody else, like, oh, this person said that. This person said that to get them at each other, and you benefit from it. She said, I got my eyes on you, Warnham. I'm gonna make sure you don't do nothing no shady business. And Genevieve is like shocked that this Warnham Aubrey she's never even played with before is basically going to be watching her every single movement. Day 2 freeze challenge. There's another obstacle course. And this one is for immunity, which means the first 2 tribes that get it done gets an eagle statue fame. Whichever year they changed it up. Like I think last year was a monkey, and one season so it was like a crocodile. This one's an eagle. And if you get that, it means your whole entire tribe of 8 is safe from elimination for the first night. And if you lose, you come in 3rd place. It's not only your team going up to elimination, but you lose your flint, which is crucial to start a fire on his awning. So the obstacle course is there's 5 different stages of it, and one by one, each player of each tribe has to go through it. And once that player goes through, someone else goes. And the first team to get all 8 of their people through the obstacle course and solves the puzzle at the end wins. And then the second team. So Team Vaatu just smokes the other team. They're way ahead until Kyle, when he runs up to jump up like a ramp to get to the top, he falls down and twists his ankle. The trainers check on him, and they say he's fine for now until they get to see how he does with it. And afterwards, they do another reevaluation on his ankle, see how he's coping with it, if it's bad, if it's gotten worse or not. So Kyle's like, well, how am I going to basically get up this ramp, right? I like Q. He jumps back down, basically hoists that guy up on his shoulders, runs with the guy on his shoulders, jumps up so the other team can grab a hold of him and hoist him up, and then Q goes up by himself. So Vaatu wins. They stay alive. Tribe Keel, which is teal, they come in second place. So, Tribe Cecile, which is orange, is the first tribe not to get immunity because Cecilia, she struggled. She was the first one out of the gate for her team, and she spent a half hour trying to get for the first obstacle, which backfired for the rest of them. Because eventually, when she got through it, Vatu's already finished, and the other team's like way ahead. So that's what cost them the immunity challenge, and they lost to Flint. So Tribe Keo and Tribe Vatu got to go back to the shelter and, camp over for the night, catch some fish, stuff like that to eat, strategize, stuff like that, while Tribe Cecile goes right to Tribal Council. They get there, and they're at the shrine, and Jeff talks to, previous contestants, hey, how's it feeling being on here ever since, from season 8, now season 50? He talks to Ozzy, man, what Coach did to you, man, that on Mini-On Challenge was dirty. And Ozzy's I'll get back to that guy. Don't worry about that. So everybody got a chance to go up to the shrine, vote for who they want to send home first on season 50 of Survivor. And Ozzy decides not to use his extra vote. He's going to keep that for later on when it's down to more members, or when he feels that he's a major threat and the tribe's going to vote him out. That's when he's going to use the extra vote. So, Jenna was trying to convince her other people to vote Cecile out because, she's the reason why we lost the challenge, which is true. But, here's a shocker. The vote night. 8 people voted. 7 of the 8 voted for Jenna. Jenna was shocked. She's the first person gone for Survivor 50, folks. The very first one to win Survivor Season 1. It's the first one gone on Season 50. She was shocked that everybody decided to keep Cecile around. The one that likes to betray people's trust in that and strategize with other people and then betray them. And they decided to get rid of Jenna because, hey, she's won a season, right? She might be a, tough person to beat later on. So, Jeff basically puts the torch out. It says, do you have any final words before you have to leave the on? And she basically just says, I hope every single one of you don't make it to the final. And then she left. On day 4, Jeff comes up and says, the tribes must now choose another member for each tribe, go back to a mini-on to complete the freeway challenge. So the tribes speak, and they choose Kobe, Mike, and Savannah, season 49's winner. They head to the mini-on and it's basically a big giant tower of Jenga. You have to start from the bottom, work right to the top, and the first player that upsets it loses. But only 2 can compete. They have to reach in a bag. Each one pulls out a rock. They open their hands. The 2 people that have the rock of the same color can compete. The one that has the odd color rock can't compete. And that ends up being Mike. So he's well, that's fine. I'll just go back to camp. And that sucks because he really wanted to win an advantage. And the winner between Savannah and Kobe gets block a vote, which means if somebody votes their name, they can block that vote to try to save them, or they could choose it to help someone out in their alliance later on. And if you lose your vote at your first tribal council. Kobe is built a Jenga tower of Savannah, and it's getting up there. It's getting tall. Savannah's I'm only 5 foot something. He's 6'4". Pretty soon it's going to get to the point I can't even reach up there, right? But Kobe makes a mistake. He decides to build a Jenga tower by putting all the pieces on different angles and shapes. So it collapses on him, so he loses his vote. Savannah wins, so she now gets block a vote. But she decides not to tell her tribe that. So she goes back to camp, basically tells them, I basically kept my vote. And Rick, all them, Christian's nah, you got an advantage. We can tell by the way you're acting, you got an advantage. But she doesn't say what it is. Kobe goes back to his tribe and says, I lost my vote. But he decides not to tell the other tribe that Savannah won block a vote. I'm kind of curious why he didn't mention that, because that could be beneficial for his tribe. I'm kind of curious why he didn't mention that. Genevieve found an idol. She's the first one to find one because they're scattered throughout the awning, like they're up a tree, buried in sand. They could be like in like a little like vase fame. They could be in underwater in a box, stuff like that. She found one inside of a hole in a tree, and she waited till Aubrey, the one that's going to keep an eye on her, went back to camp, and then she went looking. She snuck away and found one. It's called Boomerang. That's the pro and the con one. She's kind of not happy with this one. The way it works is she had to choose out a person from a different tribe to give this idol to. If that person at their next tribal council is voted out, the idol is no more good. But if that person is voted safe and stays for another day, not only is he safe, but she's safe as well, and she gets it back to give it to somebody else in a different tribe. That's why it's called the Boomerang idol. So the pro is, if that person she gives it to stays safe from elimination, she's safe as well. When it comes to like immunity, elimination, stuff like that later on. But if they're voted out, it's no more good. And the episode ends with a second elimination, folks. The trainers came back to check on Kyle's ankle, and he tore tendons in it, and it's worse than they thought it was. He came put pressure on it, so Kyle is the second one gone from season 50 of Survivor. He didn't want to go, but due to medical reasons, he's off the awning. So now we're down already in one episode. We're down to 22 people. And that means that Team Cecile lost a person, so they're down to 7 in their tribe. And Tribe Vatu, which has been kicking butt in the challenges, just lost a member in Kyle. So they're down to 7, which means the only tribe that still has 8 people is Tribe Kahu. It shows scenes for next week's episode. Coach goes up to Ozzy and says, "Hey, we still got major beef, man. Are you okay with me stealing that key?" And Ozzy's like, "You know what? Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna make you sweat about that." And then it shows, it doesn't show which tribes at the tribal council, but all it says is whenever it gets sent home, Jeff's like shocked at this, and a lot of people's like their jaws drops. There must be something huge, or something unexpected happens. There you have it, folks. I can't wait to watch this all the way through from start to finish. I am picking right off the get-go. I'm picking 3 people because there's a lot. I'm gonna pick looking at this, I'm trying to figure out who would be good to pick. I'm gonna pick Joe for season 48 because I liked him and how he helped Eva with her autism and that. He was writing. He's a nice guy, so I'm picking him. I'm going to pick Coach, who's been on 3 other seasons, never won it, but he's a huge player, and the guy is good at strategizing. And I'm going to also pick, see how they do. I am going to pick just looking at what seasons and that. You know what? I'm going to go Savannah. She just won it last season. See how she does this season. She can win back to back. There you have it, folks. Those are my picks. I hope who wins it. Joe, the coach, Benjamin, or Savannah for season 49. Let me know below in the comments who you like to see win. Who you like to see win season 50 of Survivor. What are your thoughts of Jenna, the first ever woman to win Survivor, is gone. The first one gone this season 50. And what are your thoughts of Kyle having to leave due to medical reasons? And also, what are your thoughts of the fans getting to choose that they don't get food right off the get-go? They get to choose what idols are played. They get to choose what tribe members went to which group. Like, that's big, impactful stuff, right? And I can't wait. There's one episode, particularly every season they do, I love, which is they get money, real money, and they have to buy food, which is good, because some don't even get food, right? Like, one season, one guy's like, I haven't eaten 5 days, so then he gets like $200, and he spends it on like a deep fried pizza for himself. It's basically like an auction for food, and every season they always throw in an idol, which was last year's, which was one woman got like a bowl full of French fries that was deep fried, and at the bottom of the bowl was a piece of paper, and assuming you go back to camp, and your duffel bag will be an idol, which means that there's 18 people left, which means if your idol guarantees you to the top 10. Like, that was huge. There you have, folks. Stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.